The Yankees haven't had a long-term answer at shortstop since Derek Jeter donned the iconic number 2 and retired back in 2014. Anthony Volpe is seen as someone who is supposed to take over that position. Anthony Volpe is the Yankees' top prospect. He's a top 10 prospect in baseball, and he's going to be someone who could debut in 2023. But people forget that Oswald Peraza is the current starting shortstop for the Yankees, most likely in 2023 on opening day. And while he doesn't get the superstar caliber prospect hype that other prospects get, including Anthony Volpe, Peraza could end up becoming the Yankees franchise shortstop. At least for now, he's a massive part of the 2023 equation for the Yankees. So what can Yankee fans expect from him next year? Can the Yankees expect Oswald Peraza to be the reliable shortstop of a World Series contender, or is he going to be another person on the long list of shortstops the Yankees tried before going to Anthony Volpe? In my opinion, Oswald Peraza is someone who's far more talented than people give him credit for and could end up becoming the long-term solution at shortstop and end up pushing Anthony Volpe to second base. Oswald Peraza was signed as a 16-year-old in the 2016 international signing period. He hit 5 home runs with 105 WRC plus from 2017 to 2019, meaning that despite a solid average and OBP, he didn't really find his power stroke. He was going to his age 20 season with a lot to prove, including trying to prove that he could hit for some decent power. But COVID quickly shut down any and all minor league baseball action for 2020. That didn't stop him though, as he bulked up over the COVID pandemic and he came back roaring in 2021. He put up a 144 WRC plus in high A with 5 home runs in 28 games, matching his total from 2017 to 2019, and he put up a 122 WRC plus in Double A, hitting 12 home runs in 79 games, giving him a grand total of 17 home runs and a little bit over 100 games played. That is a huge step up in the power department, and he was able to steal 36 bases in that time span while only getting caught 9 times. 2021 was a roaring success for Oswald Peraza, who finally added the slugging component to his game that he had been looking for in his first 3 years of professional baseball. And while he was going to have to prove that he could play at the major league level still, he was going to start out at AAA with a chance to make the major league team at some point during the season. The massive question became whether the Yankees would sign a big-time shortstop or not. Carlos Correa, Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, Trevor Story, and Javier Baez were all set to become free agents, and the Yankees passed on every single one of them, instead opting for a stopgap option like Isiah Kiner-Falefa. The Yankees brought in Isiah Kiner-Falefa alongside Josh Donaldson, and the trade ended up being disastrous. Both Josh Donaldson and Isiah Kiner-Falefa had WRC plus numbers below 100, and Isiah Kiner-Falefa struggled with routine plays despite the fact that he showed off great range and the ability to make some highlight plays. But the inconsistencies of Isiah Kiner-Falefa made him a league average player, but a league average player on a very good Yankee team simply wasn't going to put pressure on the Yankees to feel like they had to make a change at shortstop, especially considering Oswald Peraza got off to a terrible start. By the time June 1st rolled around, the Yankees were a very good team and Isiah Kiner-Falefa was a pretty solid player. Nothing crazy, but he was league average, and Oswald Peraza was hitting 208 with a 64 WRC plus and 621 OPS, so he was not getting a major league call at that point in time. He was going to have to do a lot to get his numbers back up to league average or better, and the Yankees were already playing so well that there just wasn't a reason to call up Peraza, even if the ceiling was higher there. Oswald Peraza would respond nicely to that challenge, having an 892 OPS in the month of June, and the Yankees continued to win, so it really didn't get much attention. It didn't start getting attention until the Yankees started struggling, as from July onwards, Oswald Peraza had an 867 OPS with 14 home runs and 22 stolen bases, giving him a 131 WRC plus in his final 61 games at AAA. The Yankees, on the other hand, went 23-31 over that stretch and did not play very well. They had to call up Oswald Peraza as Isiah Kiner-Falefa was struggling and the Yankees were struggling as well. They needed a spark, they needed to shake things up, and so when they gave him the call, you'd imagine it was to give Oswald Peraza a starting job. Instead, the Yankees brought him up just to have him around and play him in a bench role and play him at second base and whenever he was needed. Peraza, however, took that and he ran with it. He chased at just 22.8% of pitches outside of the zone and whiffed at under 18% of them, which was impressive because he didn't whiff against breaking balls either, with a 19.2% whiff rate against breaking balls and just a 16.7% whiff rate against off-speed pitches. This was a continuation of a trend we saw at the minor league level, where he had a 340 xwOBA against breaking pitches and a 342 xwOBA against off-speed pitches. And while those aren't mind-blowing numbers, it's usually hard to hit off-speed and breaking pitches. He doesn't chase at them either, with a 24.7% chase rate against off-speed, 25.5% against breaking pitches. Oswald Peraza displayed a lot of raw tools that are very enticing, with a chase rate of just 20.3% across AAA Major League Baseball and a 109.7 max exit velocity in that same time span. His chase rate mirrored the likes of Steven Kwan, who had a 373 OBP and was third in Rookie of the Year voting in 2022, and the raw power of Gleyber Torres, who had 24 home runs in 2022. It's pretty good company to be in, and that's not mentioning that his pulled fly ball rate suggests he could overperform his home run power relative to his raw power as he gets ideal batted ball sprays. He projects for a 105 WRC+, which would be a really good hitter for the bottom third of your lineup, considering he's also going to add value through his base running. We all know the defense is elite with Oswald Peraza, which should help the Yankees, as Isaiah Kiner-Falefa again struggled with routine plays, which is something I still don't understand. Because again, I think Isaiah Kiner-Falefa was not a terrible defender, but is he as good of a defender as defensive runs saved would suggest? I have no idea. I guess we'll never know. What's also weird about defense is that Peraza being an elite defender is kind of the biggest variable here. If he has a 90 WRC+, but 10 outs above average and 10 defensive runs saved, he's a 3-WAR player, which is a pretty good player. But if he's a 105 WRC+ hitter with -5 OAA and -5 defensive runs saved, he's going to fall way short of that 3-WAR goal. It's pretty incredible how important this aspect of the game is, considering we really don't have public data that allows us to project it very well besides scouting reports and prior data if you're a major league player. All we really have are scouting reports, and I'd be hard-pressed to doubt those scouting reports considering they're from people who watch him every day, and I'm just wondering if Oswald Peraza passes the name test, which he does, and the name test is a very important and objective piece of analysis. It's hard not to get excited about Oswald Peraza for 2023 because his defense and base running provide such a high floor. As we mentioned earlier, if he's a below average hitter with great defense and great base running, he can still put up a pretty impressive wins above replacement. And those are things that should translate to the major league level. Base running and defense usually don't take the massive hit that you see offense take in the beginning of a player's tenure at the major league level, and Peraza showed off that he can hit a little bit. We've already seen him lay off of pitches at the major league level, though in a small sample size, and we've already seen that's a trend he carried in AAA. Perhaps that's something he can use to parlay himself into having a higher OBP than he did at the minor league level, and perhaps he can end up turning that high OBP into higher stolen base rates and becoming a really nice part of this team. The Yankees really struggled last year with the bottom part of their lineup as guys got hurt and as guys started to regress, and Oswald Peraza should help stabilize that part of the lineup. Rookie seasons come with ups and downs, and the Yankees should be willing to be patient with Peraza, who can definitely play a massive role in the lineup, doing a lot of different things. The Yankees could put a lot of pressure on the running game with bigger bases in 2023, which could aid some of their big bats in the lineup, as pitchers may be a little more averse to throwing a breaking ball, instead opting for a fastball so that they don't give up that runner to second base. That's a huge part of what the Yankees are going to try to do next year, as they tried to run a lot more last season, but it was unsuccessful to an extent because they really didn't have the personnel to do it. With younger bats like Oswald Peraza in the lineup, the Yankees can finally utilize a skill that they've been trying to have for a very long time. A lot of the Yankees prospects center their game around aggressive base running, and Peraza's no different, so the Yankees can definitely expect Oswald Peraza to play a big role for them in 2023. Taking the mantle of becoming the starting shortstop for the New York Yankees inherently comes with a lot of pressure, especially since Derek Jeter is one of the most iconic athletes to ever play in New York. That being said, Oswald Peraza isn't looking to be Derek Jeter. Oswald Peraza is looking to be himself, and Oswald Peraza is someone that the Yankees should be heavily excited for, and the fans should rally around, as he's one of the biggest additions the Yankees are going to make this offseason, even though he's an internal guy. And those internal improvements are going to prove to be extremely important for the Yankees in 2023. A lot of their progression next year is going to rely on how well their talent that's currently on the roster and currently in AAA can progress at the major league level and take leaps or rebound from down years last year. Oswald Peraza is going to take on the mantle of a shortstop job in a city that shortstops are very valuable in. For the first time since 1996, the Yankees are giving a rookie the keys to the shortstop position, and while expecting 5 rings and a Hall of Fame career that includes getting your number retired and becoming the captain of the Yankees is ludicrous, maybe this pans out into being a move that helps the Yankees get closer to their elusive 28th World Series championship, and on top of that gives them the franchise shortstop they've been looking for ever since Jeter retired. It may not be Anthony Volpe, but Oswald Peraza is a really darn good player, and the Yankees should be very excited as to what he could do in 2023 and beyond.